Let's talk about Magic the Gathering. So, yeah, getting into Magic the Gathering, a card game released back in 1993, was not exactly on my bingo card list. I have a very small, limited interest. Basically, I was a Yu Gi Oh! Only ride or die kid since the early 2000s. I've gone on and off on Yu Gi Oh! Over the years, and I've recently started playing it again thanks to Master Duel. But Magic the Gathering has always been a card game that, while it wasn't around, at least for me, at least, I didn't know anybody who played Magic growing up. I've always heard of Magic. It's one of the most oldest classic card games out there in the world. But Magic never really appealed to me. Not because the game itself just didn't appeal to me, I just didn't have anybody to introduce it to me or play it. That was until recently. So, yeah, this is a very interesting way how I decided to get into Magic the Gathering of all things. It all started one day when I was browsing on Amazon recently. I've been kind of going through a Fallout high recently because of the Fallout TV show coming out on Amazon Prime, which I'm really looking forward to it. I hope it's really good. But I've been actually playing a lot of Fallout games, watching a lot of Fallout content. Hell, I've recently started playing Fallout 76, a game that I've told people for many years that the concept alone just didn't appeal to me. And while I'm not going to go much into it because I haven't played it in a minute, I will say that I have a lot of things to say and not just some good words about it, but we're not talking about that today. Today, we're talking about Magic the Gathering. So yeah, I didn't play Magic the Gathering in my prime time. In my lifetime, when Yu-Gi-Oh came out, that was the only card game I've ever played, and so Magic just didn't appeal to me. But it all changed when one day I was browsing on Amazon and I saw these Fallout Commander decks for Magic the Gathering. So, two things immediately came up. One, when the hell did they announce a Fallout collaboration with Magic the Gathering? And two, when does Magic the Gathering do collaborative events or connections? Well, it turns out this is not the first time. You see, Magic has a series called Magic Beyond, which basically means that they can make Magic cards based on different IPs. I know they did one for Street Fighter, they did one for Warhammer, which I heard a lot of good things about. And it was a very interesting concept because, maybe you might be into the card game, but you might be a fan of another IP, and finding out that your favorite IP has a card game attached to it, attached to a classic card game for that matter, it kind of appealed to me. So I was scurrying around the internet. What are these Fallout cards? And while I will admit that I bought them purely as a Fallout fan, I just like the cards because they kind of have cool art, and I like the callbacks to them. There's a lot of cool art in these decks. Now, let me go ahead and just say right now, I only own two of these Fallout decks. I own the Scrappy Survivors because it has dog meat on it, and I immediately bought Caesar's Legion because honestly, I'm a Fallout New Vegas fanboy. I know that's a very popular take to say that Fallout New Vegas is your favorite game of the series, but honestly, though, this just kind of appealed to me. I just dig the idea of it. Now, to be fair, though, this isn't actually my first set of Magic the Gathering cards. I didn't play it. Fun fact, a little story about it. So, back in 2017, I was getting back into Yu Gi Oh! Because my good friend Kenny played Yu Gi Oh! With a group of friends at a card shop nearby. And it was a very fun time to get back into Yu Gi Oh! I was relearning all about Yu Gi Oh! And all the new summoning requirements and all that stuff. But unfortunately, the card shop shut down right around the time we stopped playing Yu-Gi-Oh again. But there was another card shop that was opening down the street that was apparently gonna have Yu-Gi-Oh cards in there, but unfortunately, that wasn't the case. I checked out the place many years ago, but they didn't really play Yu Gi Oh! Yu Gi Oh! Wasn't their bread and butter compared to the old card shop that we played at. This was more focused on OCGs, tabletop games, and stuff of the like. Things that I never played, of course. And funny story about that. So I was without a job at the time, and this new card shop, was hiring for people. And I thought, you know what, this will be a fun way to get money and pursue a hobby. Unfortunately, though, when they interview me, or they basically ask me the basic question of, hey, do you know how to play any other card game other than Yu Gi Oh? I flat out told them no, but I did stress that if they did give me the chance, I'd be willing to learn overnight if they were to tell me, hey, you have to be very thorough on all these different card games if you want to work here, which, it give me a hyperfixation. I learned that within a week. But God bless my cousin. He wanted to help me out. So when I told him I applied to this place, mind you, they haven't told me yet that I wasn't going to get the job. they told me that I didn't get the job, unfortunately, obviously. But my cousin wanted to help me out by getting a set of dual decks. Now, this is something I noticed a lot on certain card games where they'll start releasing box sets that come with just two decks out of the box, so you and another player could start playing. And my cousin got me a deck. Now, mind you, this was 2018, 2017, maybe. Of goblins and merfolk. And I thought it was kind of neat. Like, man, my first ever Magic cards. Now, I haven't learned how to play them. In fact, it took me until 2024, literally last weekend at the time of this recording, to finally unbox these cards. And yeah, I didn't get the job. So for all these years, I left the cards sit in my closet, and it was just sitting there. I just didn't have any reason. I thought maybe in the back of my mind, like, well, maybe in a couple years these cards will be worth something. It's not worth anything. It really wasn't. So I unboxed them after I got them. So, like I said, I got these Fallout cards because honestly, I just dig the card concept and the art alone. There's a lot of cool art here, and I just wanted to talk about that real quick. I think it's a great way for people like myself who've never played Magic the Gathering. But I will say that if it was a successful marketing ploy to get me into playing Magic. Now, unfortunately, though, I haven't bought any other cards aside from these, I guess, 4 decks, if you want to count them. But I have played a lot of Magic the Gathering Arena, which is the footage you're watching behind me. Which, can I just say that if you're going to make a card game, please make a simulator game just so people like me who don't have people to play with to see if they like it or not, to just be able to do it. I mean, Yu-Gi-Oh! Has Master Duel, Pokemon has the new TCG card game coming out on mobile phones eventually, and Magic the Gathering has Arena, which I've always seen very mixed reviews on Steam. But as a learning tool, this has been fantastic. I got really into Magic through Magic the Gathering Arena, and I'm hoping to play more of it. The issue is, at the time of this recording, I barely know anything about Magic. I got the basics down. I got standard down as far as like how Magic works and how lands work and mana works. But there's a lot of terminology I'm still kind of learning. But I'll just say that if you're watching this, you're probably just as me, a Fallout fan. Now, I can't tell you these cards are good. All I can tell you is that these are 100 card decks that are meant to play with Commander. Now, Magic has a lot of interesting play styles, including, you know, your standard 2v2, and then there's Commander, where like the card size is way bigger and you have to play with 4 players, and that's what these decks are for. So I'm kind of shot myself in the foot realizing that I can't technically play Commander with only 2 people. Maybe, I don't know, I hear many mixed things. People could tell me you could play Commander, but it's meant to be played with 4 people. And I think it was very cool. So I just wanted to make this video just to say I think this whole thing is cool. Now, there are 2 other precon, which mean pre-constructed decks, similar to Yu-Gi-Oh! Structured decks, that I haven't picked up, but I'm considering picking them up now just for the sake of collection purposes. I picked up so as I said, I picked up Scrappy Survivors and Caesar's Legion, but there's also Science with an exclamation point and Mutant Mayhem. There we go, Mutant Mayhem. And I didn't pick those cards up because they didn't really immediately appeal to me. Caesar because of New Vegas, Scrappy because I felt like it was sort of like a nice middle ground where like all these other different cards, but there's a lot of cool cards in those other decks. I know for sure that I believe the Mutant deck has the Master from Fallout 1, which to me that already got me like, man, I kind of want that card now. So I just want to make this video. I just want to show you some of the art. If there any is, I'm going to just show a bunch of B-roll footage. If you haven't yet, I really appreciate you guys tuning into my streams. I'm actually thinking about putting Magic the Gathering Arena as part of my rotation because I've been having a lot of fun with it. But I also want to say that I've been getting to a lot of TCGs recently, or at least I'm trying to pick up cards to them. I really want to get back into playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Again. I also want to finally give the Pokemon trading card game a shot. But I'm going to stop right here. I don't want to ramble anymore. Thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you enjoy the content. I'm not planning on being a TCG channel anytime soon, but I like to expand a little bit and see what works. So if you like this sort of content, let me know. I really appreciate it. So with that, guys, thank you so much for watching. You guys have a good one. Take care. Until next time. See you later.